Hey guys, this is Brittney Elkin, and you're listening to the VVYK podcast. Check it out.
You're welcome, Internet. This is Viet Duan, and welcome to another edition of Face the Facts, a series where we interview professional athletes and ask them the tough questions donks like Luke Thomas are too busy shopping for beard salve to ask. Now, one of our listeners wrote in and asked us, "Hey VVYK, my girlfriend left me. What do I do? She thinks I'm just a street rat." Well, we don't buy that. If only she looked closer. Our advice to you, go watch Aladdin and cheer yourself up. And remember, working out in the gym and crushing it at your job is your real life GD. Also, Disney, you should totally pick me to play Aladdin in a new live action. I mean, I can dance, sing, act, podcast, like the great Mona Ellis, Viet have it all. This is Face the Facts, and we are proud to promote true investigative podcasting. We ask the hard-hitting questions like, what do you prefer, Sesame Street or Reading Rainbow? We know our tenaciousness might scare off some people, which is why we respect anyone that comes onto our show to talk with us, which brings us to this episode's guest, Bellator women's featherweight Brittney Elkin. We talked to her about facing your demons, avenging your losses, and the origin of Big Bird. Enjoy. Let's just get right into your story. I find this very fascinating. You were about to fight in Bellator. You were billed as this big free agent signing. And with all the success that you've had, I think a lot of people would be surprised that you're fairly young in the sport. You haven't been training that long. I think your first amateur fight was back in 2011. When did you actually start training?
No. It was actually in 2009 because I came from an uncommissioned state. Before, back then, Wyoming and South Dakota didn't have commission. So a lot of my amateur bouts are like not commissionally recorded.
I see.
I started in 2009 and I started from a garage in Wyoming.
Well, okay. How did you get into this sport? Did someone introduce you to it, or?
Yeah, it's really, I was a bartender and I was bartending one night, and the manager of my bar was friends with a local fight promoter. It was Matt DeWolf out of South Dakota, Rapid City, and I was working and living in Gillette, Wyoming. And I was always like athletic and in shape, and like they paid to bring Spencer Fisher into to one of the fights, so he was like a guest at one of the local promotions. And after the fight, like the after party was at Mingle's Lounge where I was working at the time, and they both came up to me pretty much right away and approached me and told me like, wow, you have the physical features to be a fighter, you should do it, you look like a fighter. And yeah, Spencer Fisher and Matt DeWolf were the people that got me into it, and I started basically the next day and never stopped.
I think that takes a special kind of person, though. Not everyone, someone walks up to her like, oh, you look like a fighter. Still, not a lot of people would pursue it. When did you decide, hey, you know what, I think I could make a living doing this?
It was really crazy because it's so unbelievable now, but like I took an MMA fight, my first amateur MMA fight, like 2 months after I started training. So there was like no time. And after that first one, I just like, I saw it. I saw the picture painted in my head. Like, I'm like, this could be something, but I guess I just felt it was right. Like, I don't mean to sound corny or anything, but like as I started, I was just like, nope, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just felt really like I loved it and I could have a future in it. And then it was when like all the women's MMA was breaking in, and I want to say like it wasn't too long after Cyborg and I forget. All of a sudden my mind went blank, but when Cyborg beat the crap out of what's her name?
Gina Carano?
Yes. So it was around that time, and I saw that like as like one of my first MMA bouts, and I'm like, oh fuck yes, I could do this, and I just went.
That's really cool. The sport of mixed martial arts is still very young in general. Women's mixed martial arts is even younger. You just mentioned her, Cyborg. You see the UFC now, they're trying to build a division around her, but it's still incredible because she's one of the best mixed martial artists on the planet, and we're just now kind of building a division around her. It just shows you how far women's MMA has come. Now, I want to get back to you. You got a Bellator fight here coming up. How are you feeling?
I feel awesome. You start all these like passions and all these like journeys kind of like with a bunch of loose ends. You don't really know your nutrition. You don't really know like what direction you want to go. You don't really have, even if somebody tells you a game plan, you don't maybe have the experience to like be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But this time, I just feel really complete. I used to always struggle making 145. Looks like I'm going to make it a lot easier than I used to in the past. Even though I've made it several times, it was like an absolute struggle because my walking around weight is closer to 180. So I have a nutritionist helping me, big help on my energy levels, and my mood is definitely affected because my diet's right. And I just feel really complete and really prepared. I haven't taken a fight since last August, but I have done six fight to win pros and competed at top level IBJFF organizations, which is strictly grappling, but I've done several performances and several training experiences and still kept training MMA in between. I just feel like performance level, I'm there. I feel very mentally prepared for things like the performance anxiety and all that, and fighting. And I just feel like inside, like I just feel really ready for this. So my mental's on point. My hands are feeling really good for not as many, sparring sessions as I wish I would have had, but I still feel like I'm going to do awesome and be very dominant.
Fans that have seen you fight before, cardio is not an issue with you. Gas tank
No.
has never been an issue with you. So the fact that you've improved your diet, you're feeling even better. I think that that's that's scary, I think, for future opponents of yours. But so going into fight week, usually, like how much do you cut from there, or are you basically close to 145 right now?
I still have to do a cut. I'm not going to get into numbers exactly, but I have a real good plan, and I feel like I'm really confident. And usually the most I've ever cut ever was 15 pounds, and I don't have to cut that much. So I'm feeling really ready to go. And I feel like my energy levels are still really high. Like I'm about to go through with my head corner. We're about to head down for a couple hours and do just movement drills and stuff like that. And normally at this point, I would be like really groggy and like, because I did it, in the past by myself, like coming up with solutions to stepping on a scale and being like, oh, I can't eat that. I can have celery or something like that. And really low energy. And it almost affected my mental going into the fight, 2 weeks out feeling like crap, or even a week out feeling like crap in your last things, you don't remain as confident in your mind. And I feel like, okay, let's go through these 2 hours of just movement stuff. I'm totally in the mood for that. And I don't feel like, God, when am I going to get to eat? And like, it definitely is effective. I might have mislost the question you asking me, but I'm feeling very, very confident and really ready. So it's changed me a lot, and especially in this last week leading up to it. And then also very excited and honored. So it's just like, when your dreams come together to finally like form ahead, it's just a really neat feeling.
Well, you were on the marquee for Bellator 181. I love this, by the way. At the top, it's just the headline. It's the Campos versus Gertz fight, plus Brittney Elkin.
When I finally got this opportunity, it was mind blowing. And then when they sent me over the poster, I'm just like, holy shit. It was just, I couldn't explain or bottle or give to somebody the way I feel or the joy inside and the pure honor and pride. I mean, that's what's going to bring me like to a great fight. I know that my heart is just so elated and happy that it's an honor. And yeah, I still can't believe it. So.
Well, I know Bellator is really, really happy to have you. So they definitely want to market you. You were, like I said, you were one of their big free agent signings. Now, so I love it. The poster plus Brittney, so cool. But the other reason why they did that, you didn't actually have an opponent officially when they announced a card.
The contract I signed, I did have an opponent. They just didn't announce it yet. I think there
Ah,
was they like some negotiations that weren't completely set. So they did give me an initial opponent, and they just didn't announce it, I think, for whatever reasons that, they didn't. But yeah, I always knew who I was most likely potentially going to be matched up against, at least this first one. So
okay. And who is that? Has that been?
announced it.
Huh?
Have they announced it on their site? I'm I just am trying not to fuck up my chance. So
No
I was
worries. You know
waiting for
what?
them to
If
go on their
if you
website.
guys want to find out, you could do some snooping around yourselves, or you can just tune in. So they gave you a name. Okay, that makes sense then, because that would have been a little strange to kind of go through a fight camp without knowing your opponent.
Well, and it's really exciting for me because it's my second chance at this. So like, you learn so much over your journey of like MMA and your experience in the sport, and like how you would do something better, or damn it, I didn't do that good enough, or you just grow. Or if you don't grow, you're in a weird frame of mind or whatever. But this is my second chance at a fighter that I didn't do so well against. And I mean, what would you do with a second chance at an opportunity you really want? I'm totally ready and mentally ready for this.
I love that you brought that up. Your journey. There was a lot of personal growth. I know you had an interview before. You said something like you talked about how you used to be someone that you didn't like, and I think a lot of our
Yeah.
listeners can relate to that feeling that they felt that at some point in their lives. Could you expand on that and kind of talk to us about how you went from that place and how it took you, or what you had to do to go from that place to get to where you are now?
For sure. I was a young, ridiculous person. I started using drugs at 12, and I didn't get away from them until I was just about 18, and that was because my family is so strong and they helped me. But I was like a runaway, and in the wrong places, of all wrong places. And I basically would hide in my friends as addicts. It sounds so pathetic now, or things like that. And I was on some pretty hard substances, and thankfully I came out on the brighter side of that. But the depression that leads after that, and especially at like the young ages of like 18 to 20, when you're still going through all those like personal growth changes in just becoming an adult, I couldn't get away from the depression because I had so many guilty feelings of like things that I did in my such young ages. And martial arts definitely helped me like find a ground, like not even like just like find some kind of purpose other than living off of like somebody would bring it up and I'd be like, God damn it, I did that. Yeah, I did that. And you can stay so depressed if you don't ever have something bright to look at. And even if like all the good things in life, sometimes you can just stay like so blinders on. And I did that for a lot of years. I wasn't somebody I liked. A lot of people didn't like me. It's actually kind of funny now because kids from high school, which I was a fuck up, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I wasn't. I was completely fucked up, in a bad place. And kids back then, I remember my mom was a nurse in the community, and my mom said, "Oh, I saw this girl from the high school today, and they don't like you very much." And it's really funny because that girl would share something about me later, and it's just I'm very proud that I can say that, and hopefully I can relate to somebody. I always take a minute if somebody brings that up to me and just be like, no, 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 you're way better than that. And just finding value in yourself is just so important. So the journey that and the process like that I learned on that is just like you can be anything, and you can be something completely else. And yeah, I mean, it's not a super excited thing. I love telling people that I was an ex-drug addict, but if it helps somebody, yeah, then I would gladly share my story in more detail. But it was pretty bad at a point.
No, I think it's absolutely important, especially the people that are going through that, to see someone like you. You're a good role model, an example of someone that went through that and then now has found a lot of success. I know as a fighter, a lot of credit has to go to you. I mean, you have to put in the hard work. You're the one that has to do the training. You have to go through the dieting, the weight cuts, all of that stuff. That's on you. But you also have a team around you that helps you out. Who are you training with right now?
I have been training with. It's kind of funny because I was at the Compound Training Center, who is so amazing. I'm training with Easton's Training Center
Okay.
out of Centennial, Colorado. And just I really don't want to like disconnect from anybody because everybody helps me so much. My corner this time is my head coach is Valor Calerio. I say his name wrong. From Centennial Easton's. Basically, I accredit a lot of Denver gyms into helping me, and my boss from the Fight to Win promotions, he really helped me get in some really good hands. Like, and I'm not saying like hands like mitts. Like, he helped me find the right. Did this on a 4-week camp, 4.5 weeks. And when
Hmm.
I took the fight, I was 178. So I'm coming down from 178. I had to get in, a lot of things in a short time. And yeah, Easton's has taken such good care of me. I've been always taking very good care of in the past, and I've never burned any bridges, and that's the way I like to keep it. So I say I'm like Team Denver.
That's cool. Repping Denver, Colorado. I also want to bring this up. I know you're also, along with being a professional fighter, you're a mother, and we've seen some professional athletes like Michelle Watterson, who has had a lot of success balancing being a mother and a professional athlete. How have you balanced being a mother and a professional athlete?
It's, I mean, a mother it like makes you just have even that much more of a purpose. You're like, I just stay steadfast. I don't get distracted. I've done so many nonsense things in the past, like when I was young, that I really don't like go out and party. I have social activities and stuff, but I don't go out and party. So like he really kept me grounded. I wanted him to have just an awesome life. I love my son. He's such a pure light. He was with me for the first 10 years solid. I didn't really have such a great relationship with his dad in the beginning, but his dad and I have really formed an awesome parenting relationship, and it's just awesome. We can look past, anything in the past and do it for him. And if anything, Bronson makes me so much more strong in all ways. Like he's taught me so many lessons of patience and taught me so many lessons of there's always a tomorrow. You can shake it off, and who cares about it after tomorrow. And I've just instilled as much into him. I gotta like be a believer of the good advice I give him to myself. He's added a lot of mental strengths I can't even like put into words, because it's just those experiences and those reflections. Like when I'm doubting myself, I can just pull up something that with me and him, and just see how far and how well he's doing, and know that I was a part of making that, and it just makes pride come out. So
We had some audio issues earlier, but we're back. Brittney was gracious enough to come back on so we could finish up the interview. When we last spoke, we were talking about how you balance motherhood with being a professional athlete, and I was asking you about your son. Apparently, he does some jujitsu, but he prefers football.
yes, yeah, like it's actually right when I started doing jujitsu, or actually MMA. They offered like a kid like taekwondo karate thing, and then he worked his way into jujitsu and got a orange belt. But he's not down. He's not into it. He wants to do football instead. So let him.
That's cool. So, unfortunately, probably we're not going to get the next Conor McGregor, but maybe the next Tom Brady.
Yes. Hopefully, he's 5'8", and 180 pounds. So he's a tall, large boy. He's probably very well structured for a lineman football player. So, and he's 11. So it's just crazy to me.
Well, you got those Amazonian genetics that
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps him. And we were also talking about that he watches your fights, which I found very interesting.
He had to take a little break from it. Like I said, it was like when I got really injured and really bloody, and they took me to the back, and he was really young, so he just thought I died.
Oh, that's
And nobody could convince him otherwise that I wasn't dead. And I was getting medically checked out, and he's convinced himself then that I had died. But he has obviously been around still and seen that I'm much alive, and he can watch him now. He's actually excited to tell everybody. He tells everybody we're famous, but we're really not. But he likes to think so. So coming from an 11-year-old, it means a lot to me that he just takes pride in what I do now. So.
well, if you're not famous yet, you're definitely on your way. I'm sure he is very proud of Mom up there on the Bellator 181 marquee. I mean, that's got to be so cool for him to see that.
Oh yeah, everywhere we go, he tells everybody. So it's pretty awesome to be a parent and to have your child like look up to you so much. So it's awesome.
All right, so I know that you must be laser focused on your upcoming fight. But, when you don't have a fight coming up, aside from training and being a mother, are you currently working on any other projects?
I love my job so much. I actually work with Fight to Win Promotions, and it's a touring jiu-jitsu, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu platform that puts on professional jiu-jitsu bouts. So I guess like my life is pretty much all the way surrounded by some sort of fighting or jiu-jitsu or something. But just personal growth things. I love gardening, and I have about 1,000 plants. Not really. I have like 100 plants in my living quarters. It's ridiculous, but I love it, and it's really peaceful and calming. And I love learning about each plant. And it's not just the Colorado plants. I don't have any of those. I have have like a little habit addiction to ordering like seeds from different parts of the country, and I don't know if that's some sort of side hobby. It's my obsession hobby. I'm called the plant hoarder.
That's plant hoarder. You also have a fighting nickname, but I'm a little confused here. I've seen Warbird, I've seen Big Bird. Which is it?
It was Big Bird. You never can run away from something that's given to you, kind of. In the beginning, like I was like, I don't want to be Big Bird. When I went pro, I tried to do a little bit of the Warbird thing, and you know what? I just like Big Bird, and now I embrace it like 100. And yep, it's definitely Big Bird. Everybody in every area knows me as Big Bird. So it's actually pretty funny, and I love it now. So.
I like it. It's goofy. Everyone always wants like a really serious, like Big Bird from Sesame Street. Not exactly what you think of when you think of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, well, it actually was given to me because I accidentally injured one of my training partners in class, and he yelled it after I suplexed him and elbowed him in the nuts on accident. And so it was something that was like given to me in the middle of practice. So. It's kind of funny, but it stuck, and now like I can't go anywhere without people calling me it, or everybody buys me everything Big Bird, or it's just so it's pretty neat. I love it, and whatever, it's good.
Yeah, Sesame Street. Where's the endorsement at? I don't get it.
Oh, I don't know. Is it? I don't. I got to be honest. I don't even know. Didn't they cancel Sesame Street?
Yeah, I think they have. I think some of those programs, they're having a little bit of a revival. Like Reading Rainbow is still on. I think you deserve some of that sponsorship money.
Yeah, no, or I could just go on the show and help kids or something. So
that'd be really cool. I don't know if you're the calling out type. It looks like a lot of fighters, they feel that in this era of social media, that's just kind of part of the fight culture now, even if you don't call it the Conor McGregorification of mixed martial arts, but the trash talking, the calling out people, it's sort of how that's just the way the business works now. Do you have I know you are so focused on this and you're not looking past your next opponent, but do you have a name in mind? If you
I've always had one beef. I've always had one beef, and it was a girl that missed weight by 8 pounds on me, and she blamed the fight not happening on me because it was a championship fight. We were up for a title, and I do a lot to my body. I put a lot in. I take it very seriously. And when you miss by 8 pounds, it's like a total disrespect. And she was also 2 hours late. So if there's one person I'd love to punch in the face, it's Josette Cotton, but I don't even know if she could make weight. and I'm not going to do any special favors for her. Other than that, like, this is just this is my favorite sport. I'd love to fight anybody. I love being like, oh yeah, I know her, and like becoming friends with them after we fight. So I have like probably a different personality than most fighters. I don't usually just be like blah 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 blah. But when I see something that I'm after, I will approach a promoter and be like, hey, you know what? I really think I could go after that. Could you give me a chance? And that's my sort of way. Instead of sorry, I'm outside and there's a couple people walking around.
No
But
worries.
that's my sort of way, and it's always been my sort of way. I just I don't hate anybody really, you know. And if I like saw a title I was after, I'm willing to fight anybody. There was once I was matched up to go against Fallon. Um, I requested to fight Gabby once because I was like, I can do this. I know I can do this. And that's kind of my mentality. So if I believe in myself and I see it and I see like, yep, that's what I want to go after, I'm going after it. But calling out so much, that's more for the fans and the promoters. The promoters love it because it causes lots of, it gets the fight worked up for sure. It gives a lot of conversation. Sorry, conversation, and it gets people talking about it, gets people caring about it. So I have nothing against it. I never let it get to me when somebody's like, "Fuck Brittney Elkin" or something like that. I'm just like, okay, let's fucking fight, you know. And that's just how I roll, I guess, in my way of doing it.
Yeah, Gabby Garcia. I guess that it would be interesting. I don't know how active she's been. That would be
Yeah.
interesting. If you could
Well,
if you
she actually is, I think, due for another fight, but I think the rules are changed that once they're on the ground and pound isn't legal. So it's in Risen. I've been following it because I did even ask for it. I'm like, let's do this, you know, because I believe in myself. And where there's great strength, there's always like also great weakness in everybody, you know. So it's just, you know, and it's just a lifetime experience. In my opinion, you work towards something so long, how could you deny yourself of an opportunity such like that? I mean, as we were talking in the prior interview, I've put myself in hospitals to a death point where they, you know, had to take care of me in a very, very real way. So, I mean, you only live once, and everything you want is on the other side of fear. It's kind of something I live by. So if I was given that opportunity, I would take it. If I was given, you know, an opportunity that, you know, people would say that's ridiculous, it's like, well, that's your opinion. My opinion is I'm going to take it. And anybody that's worked with me knows that. And I love winning, but I'm okay with losing, and I'm still structured enough and okay with myself and the person I am. So it's just a challenge and a life experience, you know?
I think you need that, just that amount of confidence and belief in yourself to do what you do, because it's I mean, this is not a normal job that you have. It is a dangerous job. Obviously, this is something the fans could talk about, but that match probably a little far off. You did just sign a three fight contract with Bellator. She obviously has her obligations in her organization, but the fans can talk. I got a
Yeah.
couple of quick
I mean,
questions I want to ask you about women's MMA. First of all, Ronda Rousey. Do you think that she's done?
you know, I tell my boss this all the time, and he says so too, is like, we wish we could get her on the jiu-jitsu stage. Sometimes taking a step away from something is always really good to come back because like you need your blinders off, you need to be open-minded to something else. So like I was begging, I was like, hey Seth, you think you could get her versus Mackenzie Dern or something on our stage, or maybe she needs another outlet. I never want to put it as somebody's done because I was certain at one point, you know, long ago, even before this one, and I fought again since, that, you know, I was done. It's whatever you see in front of you, you know, and that's a personal thing. She's so talented. I think that when you put that much pressure on your body and put so much pressure on your mind, you can go to a dark place, a good place, or you know, who knows where you're going to go. So hopefully, I don't want to see her done. I want to see her perform what she's best at. And I want to see her recognize her faults and process them and move into her greatness, you know. And she could do that as she's already been such an aspiring person for so many people. So It's just something that I really hope that she can come out of as because she's so great. And I think it's going to be a minute before she gets back into MMA, but I don't know her personally. I don't know where she's at. I don't know what she's eating. I don't know what she's doing. So I can't say for sure. It's just I know for my own personal experience when I've had huge mental overcomings, I have to process them fully myself because until I'm okay with myself, I can't get back out there. So.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean the fans would really love for her to be back. She was this huge mega star. When Holly beat her, it was a shock. It was a big upset. I don't know if like you could say when Nunez beat her that was as much of an upset, but I mean that was a tough loss for her. So I think it's probably physically and mentally she needs to take some time just to heal up. But that would be cool to see her compete again because she's so awesome. Uh, Go ahead.
I think her mind might need to heal a little more than her body, in my personal opinion. And again, I don't know her personally, but once her mind, if your mind is strong, you can make your little body do anything. So hopefully she can, because I would love to see her go again. I would love to see her perform in judo. I would love to see her perform in grappling or something, and just bring her back to us.
Yeah, just have her competing again. I think, like as a professional athlete, you have that itch, that competitive itch, and that's what drives you. So I think maybe if you put her back in those situations, she kind of gets that competitive fire back. Who knows what could happen? We
Yep.
talked about Cyborg. We just touched on it a little bit. She had a an awesome matchup, in my opinion, with Megan Anderson lined up, and unfortunately, Megan, I think she got injured, so she had to pull out a fight. And now we have Tanya stepping in. She's Cyborg for a while now has dominated that division. Do you see anyone dethroning her anytime soon?
I was really excited for the Megan Anderson fight too. I had the opportunity to spar Megan once. She's a great girl, and I think she's fully talented and capable. Again, that comes down to Cyborg's. She's tough, she's big, she's scary, she's got a huge, huge persona that comes with her, and of course she can be beaten. Of course, that Russian girl beat her in kickboxing. You just it depends per fighter. The fighter that shows up that day, what version of Chris you get that day, who's gonna rock Chris one day. And I have full respect for Chris. Like she's done huge things for mixed martial arts for women. She's a huge, huge front name running. She's super tough. I mean, but I've also mentally decided in my own self, I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I have to be willing to fight her because she's at the top. And where do I want to go? I don't want to go beneath it. I want to put myself in mental top. So you just, it's really hard to say because it's going to be a timing issue, which fighters align in timing. I got to say, I was excited for Megan, but I'm even a little bit more excited for Tanya because she's got an attitude, she's got a personality, I've seen her fight live. I haven't had the opportunity to train or meet her personally, but I'm down. I think that's going to be fun. And I think either one of those girls, at least, are at the top. That gives her a challenge and gives her something to keep working towards to keep growing. So go Cyborg and Tanya. Go Megan on the healing because Megan's definitely proven herself to be, up there with them. I'm excited to see that, it's not as much like, oh, I'll fight anybody but her or, something like that. But there are people that are willing to take on that personal challenge. I think that's huge. And I think it's like a true martial artist, because you have to be willing to fail to be also willing to gain like greatness. So I'm proud of them. I'm proud of all of those girls.
I like it. That was well put. All right, we're gonna face the facts real quick. I'm gonna ask you a couple quick questions in our speed round. First
All right.
question: what was something that you believed in as a kid, and then you were crushed to find out later on was not true?
I was really, there's obviously the Santa Claus and all that stuff, but like I found out about all that, but then like I didn't put together that the Tooth Fairy wasn't real, and I was pretty sure that. I don't know, I really didn't have any huge letdowns. So for speed round, I guess the Tooth Fairy was a double whammy. I found it out a few months later after I found out about Santa.
All right. You're going out with your friends. You guys go to a karaoke bar, and you have to sing a song. What's your go-to?
Gosh, you guys ask me all hard questions. I never, just something fun. something fun that we can do as a group. I like poppy, happy music. I don't have a song to give you, but if I'm out with my friends, it's my three best friends. We're gonna sing something fun, loud, and like girly, something that we know every word to, just so we can have fun.
All right.
I don't know. Terrible question for me. Sorry.
Do you consider yourself lucky?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm very lucky. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be given the opportunities I've been given. I'm lucky to have such an amazing child, amazing experiences, and of course I'm lucky. I'm super lucky. I pick up every penny I see.
Would you rather take your chances fighting a bear or a tiger?
A bear. A bear because I could manipulate its huge body and try to get underneath it and do the whole Indian stab thing. I think I've practiced that mentally enough as like a 14-year-old like living in Wyoming. So a bear.
All right, I love it. What is the worst purchase you ever made?
I don't know. God, you're good. Worst purchase I've ever made. Other than terrible choice purchases, like spending too much money on clothes trying to impress somebody. Like, I'm done trying to impress people. I'm going to be who I am. So the worst purchases I've ever made was materialistic purchases that I thought made me have value or something when really I'm just as valuable without them. So.
All right. Favorite current fighter?
My favorite current fighter, I've always loved Andrea K. Lee, man. She can go from anywhere. She can go top, down, autumn. I love watching that little blonde girl kick some ass. And I mean, yeah, she's on top. I'm a big fan of Rose. She's a local to Denver. I like watching her, and she's got one heck of a mindset. And yeah, I think that Andrea K. Lee tops it. I'm gonna say her.
Okay. How honest are you? And you have to be honest.
I'm so honest. I'm the worst liar I know. I mean, like, even when I lie, I'm like, no, I can't do it anymore. I can't lie anymore. Lied so much when I was a kid. It was just impossible. I tried my hardest not to lie.
What do you consider your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment is accepting myself for who I am, and not running away from it anymore. And raising that amazing boy. If you ever met him, you'd say that is probably my number one thing, because I raised a goddamn good boy. And so just being myself is my greatest accomplishment. I'm not trying to put something on or take something off for somebody else.
Okay. Do you believe in aliens?
Sure I do.
I like it. All right. What would you say if God sneezed?
I would say, man, you already, I don't know. I don't know. That one, that's a good one. I'm going to ask somebody else that. I don't know. Gesundheit?
Okay. If your life were to be made into a movie, who would you choose to play you?
Damn. I don't even know. Let's see. I like that girl from Zombieland. That girl. Can't think of her name. The tougher, older one. She could play me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm blanking on her name too, but I know the actress that you were talking about.
Yeah, that girl.
If you could hang out with a fictional character, it could be from a movie, TV show, book, whatever, who would you choose to hang out with?
I would definitely pick Mitch Hedberg. He's not fictional. I guess that's not fictional at all. He's dead. So a fictional character. I don't know. Man, searching my brain. I would hang out with Sonora Webster from Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
Okay. What is the most played song on your workout mix?
That's why I had such a struggle with music. I don't listen to it unless it's on. I'm weird. And like my boss always gives me crap. Unless somebody else puts it on, I don't listen to it usually.
Really?
Yep.
Even when you're like out running, you don't listen to music?
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't put it in like If it's on in the background at a gym, I have no problem with it. Like there's music on now or somebody has it on the radio, but me, I just prefer silence or dead air.
What percent chance do you give Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather?
I don't want to eat my own words. If Floyd shows up and just, it, I that one I have a hard time with because I feel that Floyd is at the absolute maximus top of his one individual thing, and as an MMA fighter, Conor's good at many things. So if Conor shows up and just knocks him out, I don't know. God, that's hard because Conor's amazing, and especially his attitude and his perception on life and the way he views himself. So I think he's going to get some hits in, but I think that Floyd's going to take that. I'm going to give Conor 25% chance, which is fucked up because I like him, but Floyd's going to win at 75% chance.
Honestly, that's actually fairly generous compared to what a lot of people are saying. Most people are going 0%. No way Conor can touch Floyd. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Are you gonna tune in for that one?
I will be actually in Vegas. I'm gonna be at Master Worlds for the IBJFF tournament, and I'm registered. I think the day they fight, I will be going. So I will be local. I probably can't afford a seat, but I will be sitting somewhere watching it. You bet.
You gotta hobnob with McGregor or something. Get those free seats for you and your boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And last question before I let you go. We talked earlier about how you had to overcome some personal demons. What lesson would you share that helped you get through that for our listeners that may be going through something very similar?
I think that in that aspect, the best thing to know is that you can be anybody you really want to be, and you just have to, anything great causes some sacrifice. You have to give up. You have to give up something to get something, and you also have to process things. If you did something or do something, you have to process it and touch base with it and change yourself. Like if I ate a tub of ice cream every morning and that was just a bad habit I had, I'd have to process that and say, I got to quit eating that ice cream. I got to be a different person. So the people that want to get out, or the people that are striving but struggling, you have to let go of that person. It's almost like breaking up with an individual, and then just process in your mind everything so that you don't have to relive it over and over and over. You have to accept that it happened. You have to accept that there's going to be consequences and it's not going to be easy, and then accept that you're going to take on this new thing. It's just acceptance.
We're going to wrap things up. If you want to catch this lady right here, you want to tune in July 14th at Bellator 181 live on Spike TV. Brittney, you have this ultra hyper aggressive style of fighting that the fans just love. And I have to tell you, you are such a sweet and genuine person. I am so sure you're going to do great things in that division. And I want to thank you again for coming on the show and chatting with me.
Thank you so much.
And we want to thank Brittney Elkin again for coming on the show and chatting with me. And I wish her all the best in her upcoming fight at Bellator 181. Guys, if you haven't already, go like our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/brosbros. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up. And for the latest and greatest in all things BBYK, why don't you hit that subscribe button? Have something to say? Tell us in the comment section below, or you can tweet at us at brosbros. We have some new stuff in the works for you guys. Some new Rattling the Cages from Mr. Matt Two Stripe. So you guys would want to be on the lookout for that. And until next time, guys, we are the Bros, you know.